Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you something a little bit different. I'm making a flower money cake for one of my best friends for her birthday. She's not a child, she's turning 26, so this cake is suitable for all ages, and I thought it would just be a cute little present because she's just starting her new business and I just wanted to celebrate her in some way. So first, these are the flowers that I got. I wanted to kind of have a coral and white theme and had a lot of variety. So some big flowers, small flowers, wild flowers, some greenery. Alright, next we have some styrofoam discs from the dollar store. I think maybe they were about 6 inches in diameter. And I got 3 packs or 6 of these layers. And remember that the cake is going to end up being bigger than the disc because you put dollars around it. And of course I had to have some money here. And then some pearls, also from the dollar store. A lot of the stuff was from the dollar store, so the cake wasn't too expensive to make. A happy birthday cake topper. And then some protective sleeves for the money in case she ever wants to take it apart and needs the money for something. Ribbon to tie the cake together. Scissors, I recommend a hot glue gun too. And then some extra accessories, some lace, pearls, and then I also got a coral ribbon. And some things that I got but didn't include here are a clear cake box and some gold laser cut butterflies that I got on Amazon. So I just took my styrofoam out of the plastic wrap and I just drew a smaller circle on it because I wanted it to be a 2-layer cake. And after I draw a circle, I'm just gonna start cutting it out. And this was by no means a perfect circle, but I think it's okay because you're gonna cover it up with dollar bills anyways. So I did this twice and I used just a regular kitchen knife, which probably wasn't the best move, but it ended up okay. Alright, so after I had cut 2 little circles to be used for the second layer of the cake, I stuck them together. Do not recommend taping them in any way. I should have just hot glued them from the very beginning. I did end up taking my hot glue gun and just gluing them together after the fact. I actually don't know why I tried to use tape in the first place. So, alright, now that we have our cake base, I'm moving on to the money part and we're gonna start attaching the money onto the cake. I bought these plastic bags from the dollar store that I wanted to use as protective sleeves. I didn't get actual like dollar bill protectors because for some reason they were like $10 and I didn't want to spend that much. I got really lucky. These fit perfectly in the sleeve. I just had to cut off the excess plastic and I taped the ends together that I exposed. I would say this was the most tedious part of the entire process just because I had to trim that excess and I had to tape it together and then roll it up and attach it to the cake. And I even had to go back to the bank because we ran out of dollar bills at one point. So I would say prepare about 45 bills just to go around the cake if you're doing a second layer. And if you want to use dollar bills for the cake too, you can use any amount of money that you want to. I just used 2s because I heard that they were supposed to be lucky. Also keep in mind that the amount of dollar bills that you're going to end up needing is directly related to how big you make the circles. I used this pen to make them all the same size, but honestly you don't need to use it because I ended up just eyeballing it and I went back and made them all bigger because we were running out of dollar bills. I used these adhesive dots that I also got from the dollar store to stick the dollar bills onto the cake. They are pretty sticky. I mean, they worked pretty well. I used that for all of the bills, but it's not super secure. I just was afraid to hot glue it because you know, it's still money and the sleeve isn't super thick. So I didn't want to hot glue it and then ruin the money if she ever wanted to take it apart. I also knew that I was going to use ribbon to secure the dollar bills to the cake anyways, so I wasn't too concerned about them falling because I wanted them to still be usable. And then just keep repeating this step until you're done covering the cake with dollar bills. Alright, so now that we're finally done putting all the dollar bills on the cake, we're gonna decorate it with some lace and some ribbon. So I'm gonna tie the ribbon around the first layer, and then we're also going to put the lace on the top of the second layer, just to give it a little bit of texture, variety. It was super hard to tie a nice bow for this cake. I ended up just giving up. I tied the ribbon around the cake itself, and then I made a bow separately and then hot glued it onto the cake because all the bows that I tied just did not look good. Alright, now we're moving on to what I think is the funnest part of the whole project, which is decorating the cake with the flowers. So I used the light pink rose as kind of the centerpiece of the cake, and then I got some coral roses to go around it. So I just cut the stems of the flowers with some scissors. I recommend if you have pliers, I would use pliers because there is wire inside of the stems. And then I just stabbed it into the styrofoam. I would actually recommend keeping the stems a little bit longer than what I'm cutting right now because I kind of think they were a bit too short. I only decorated the bottom layer with smaller flowers and some greenery and leaves, just because if you try to use the bigger flowers, which you can, but it kind of blocks the dollar bills. After we were done decorating the cake with the flowers, I took the happy birthday cake topper, also from the dollar store, and I put it not exactly in the middle, but the side middle, just because I didn't want it to be super symmetrical. Then I got some pearls from the dollar store, and then I hot glued it inside of the bigger flowers just to add some little details. But it's totally optional, you do not have to do this. Lastly, we did this off camera, but I got a clear cake case and some gold butterflies just to give it some extra elements. And then we're done.